Hi, third graders. Mrs. Smooth here. Today we are doing the second part of the Unit 3 Lesson 1 because the first part was about like learning how to measure, and then the second part here is about learning about line plot. So I thought I'd break it up. So a line plot is a way to show information, and you can easily see what the most common thing was and what didn't occur and what occurred a little bit. So frequency is a word that they don't define, but it means how often something happens. So for example, I live in Southern California. Frequently, it's very warm and sunny here. Right now, it just started hailing, right? So that's an infrequent or not frequent thing. It doesn't happen very often. So here we can see a line plot shows the frequency of data on a number line. So how often something happens on a visual number line. In science class, students measured the lengths of leaves in a leaf collection. They measured the lengths to the nearest quarter inch. The line plot shows the results. So we have one leaf that was 2 1/4 inches. We have one leaf, you can tell it's one because there's one dot, that was 3 1/4 inches. One leaf was exactly 4 inches. 3 leaves, 1, 2, 3, were 4 1/2 inches long. 2 leaves, 1, 2, were 4 3/4 inches long. No leaves were 5 inches long. One leaf was 5 1/4 inches long, and 2 leaves, 1, 2, were 5 1/2 inches long. So you can see the taller the stack of dots, the more common that measurement happened. So the most common one was 4 1/2 inches. None of them were 2 inches. That was very, it didn't even happen. Infrequently, there's a 2 1/4, but most common was 4 1/2 and 4 3/4. So how many leaves have a length of 4 1/2 inches? We go over to 4 1/2 inches, and then we count the dots. 1, 2, 3. 3 leaves. How many leaves have a length that is less than 5 inches? So we're going to go to 5, and we're going to look at all the lengths less than 5 and count all of these dots. I'm going to go boop, 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 boop. There's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we're going to write a question that you could answer by looking at this. So I might say, what was the smallest leaf that was in the collection? And that would be 2 1/4 inches. Or I could say, what was the largest leaf length that was found? And that would be 5 1/2 inches. I could say, how many leaves were longer than 2 inches? That would be all of them, right? So pick a question. You can write your own question. Any of those will work. And then when you're pausing, when you're ready, we'll move on. Now, for this part, this page was designed for in a classroom with kids live. So we're gonna just make up some data. Normally you're not supposed to make up data, but when you're practicing using data, you can. But in general, it's not a good idea. So, since your teacher will ask each student to read his or her actual measurement for the line segment you and your classmates drew with a straight edge in this part here, right? So, we can see here that there's a range of between 1 and 4 inches. And so what we're going to do is we're going to make a table that we're making up some data, and we're going to imagine we're in a classroom all together and you all told me what you measured, and then we're going to put it on the line plot because this is the point right here. So we'll say, I guess the objective was to draw 2 1/2 inches long. So we're going to have for 1 1/2 inches, 1 3/4 inches, 2 inches, 2 1/4 inch, 2 1/2 inch, and then continue the table over here. 2 3/4 inches, 3 inches, 3 1/4, 3 1/2. Probably most kids got somewhere around there. So let's say 2 kids did 1.5. 2 kids did 1 3/4. 3 kids did 2 inches. 3 kids did 2 1/4. Maybe 5 kids did 2.5. 1 kid did 2 3/4, and 2 kids did 3 inches, and 2 kids did 3 1/4. So let's go ahead and put this on the line. Okay, once you've copied that, and say no kids did 3.5. Okay, so 1 inch, no dots. 1 1/4, no dots. 1.5, we're gonna do 2 dots, and it's important that you make the dots kind of small, but the same size as each other and the same distance from each other. If you have like one giant dot and another like little dot, it makes it hard to read and it kind of ruins the whole thing. So 2 little dots, 1, 2, just like that. 1 3/4, 2 more dots, and you're aiming to make them the same size and height. It should look like twinsies with the 1.5 right there. Okay, 2 inches, 1, 2, twinsies up until that point, and then 1 more dot above. 2 1/4 inches, another twinsy with the 2 inches. 2, 3. 2.5 inches, we're saying 5 kids, right on the money. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 3/4, 1 kid, 3, 2 kids, and 3 1/4, 2 kids. And then the rest were 0. So how many of the line segments have a measure of 2.5 inches? Look at that. How many? 5 students, or line segments. Which length appears most often in the line plot? Now look, which one is most frequently occurring? Which one happened the most? It was 2.5 inches in our made-up data. All right, my friends, thank you for joining me today. That's it for this. Go and see if you have a Think Central or some other activity to do. And if you have any questions, come see your teacher. Bye-bye.